I just finished binge watching a new show, but it's not really a new show. It's been out for 3 seasons, so it's been out for a few years, but it feels like a new show because I really haven't heard that much about it. The show I'm talking about is Orphan Black. The only reason I even watched it was because it was mentioned once or twice in one of those lists of, hey, these are shows you should check out. But I haven't really heard about it anywhere else. I haven't really heard anyone else really talking about it, so I finally watched it and I thought it was fantastic. And I'm genuinely confused why this show isn't more popular. Like I said, I've only seen it mentioned in a few of those internet lists of shows you should check out. I've never seen anything posted about it online. Even the Reddit for it is really small. So I'm genuinely just confused why it's not a popular show, because for me, it hits off all of the checkpoints that for me qualify it as a great, solid, strong, good show. The acting of it is fantastic. It's a huge ensemble cast of a lot of very different characters, and each of their actors plays their characters well, but specifically as far as acting goes, Tatiana Maslany, who's the star of the show, well, is the stars, plural, of the show. Spoiler alert, the show's about clones, and she plays the clones. So at this point in the show, there's like 12 different variations of herself, and they're all very extremely different characters from each other, and she plays them so individually and so convincingly that it's sometimes you kind of forget that this is one actor playing all these different characters in one show, often having scenes with just herself. Having these really intricate scenes with just herself as a variation of these different clones, and it's done remarkably. And she's just such a strong actor in these different characters that it's kind of astonishing. Just that alone, I'm confused why it doesn't get more attention, and why she specifically doesn't get more attention. I've never seen her before the show, and I have not seen her outside of this show since then. And I'm confused as to why. I think she's just a fantastic actress, and she's proven that in just this one show. Secondly, the show is consistently changing. It's always changing and raising the stakes and what's at stake and the situation and alliances and how characters are reacting to each other based off what they've done or what their motivations are be or whether they trust them or not. And by doing this, it keeps the show fresh. Every season there's a different problem, there's a different way that they're going about and solving it. They're different people that they're trusting of the people they didn't trust in the last season. They may depend on this season. And it's constantly changing those dynamics, changing those situations, and it's keeping the show really fresh and interesting to watch. It's already a very interesting and original story that they're telling, but each chapter, each season is a very different, very fresh chapter of this continuing story of the problems that these clones come into contact with. Finally, the show really invests in its characters, and by that I mean they don't just kill them off willy-nilly for dramatic effect, or they need something, something big. They need some big cliffhanger for this episode, so we're going to kill off this character, which I really start to get the feeling that a lot of shows are doing, and I don't like that, because when you kill off a character, unless you're going to get in the habit of killing off a character and then bringing them back by, magic or science or magic science, that character is done. That character has no more development, that character has no more story, that character is, for the most part, finished. You can't really do much else with a dead character. And that's something that this show doesn't do. It takes these characters and introduces a new character, and it doesn't just toss them aside when they're done. Each character has a purpose when they're introduced, and it may seem like a very small thing, and then later on you discover that, oh no, this character has a bigger part here, and then in the next season you may think, oh well, that character was just part of that season. No, this character is coming back for these new purposes and for these new roles and purposes to continue the show, and they really invest in that. And even when it's happened a few times, even when they do kind of tease off the death of a character, or at least the mortal wounding of a character, and you think they're going to die, maybe in the next episode you find out that they didn't die from their wounds or from the attack or whatever it was, or in the next season you discover that there are huge consequences for killing off for what happened to that character, whether it's for the person that was hurt, their injury may completely affect their character and change their character in a way that would be very different from who they were before, or or it may have consequences for the character who did the killing, who did the attacking and the wounding, and they may have consequences and reservations about what they did, and that greatly affects them in the future episodes and how they may interact on their own to develop or even interact with the character that they may have tried to kill. And they really stick to that. It's a consistent theme, and I like that. I like that they invest in those characters. Instead of just killing off a character and then trying to create a new one, they change the character, because they were hurt and this affects them, and it changes how they look at their lives, how they look at their motivations, what they're going to do to try to compensate for their injury, and it changes and develops and evolves the characters in this show, and I think that is just absolutely fantastic. I wish more shows did this, and sadly it don't. And all of these great, solid qualities that this show has, and these shows does, they do it in 10 episodes, whereas for a lot of shows, they have trouble doing any of it in 20 episodes. And I think that is just something, it speaks really well for the show of Orphan Black. I don't know why this show isn't as popular. The only time I have seen it mentioned outside of the internet is if I've gone to a Hot Topic and they have a few pieces of merchandise of the show, and they actually do have little Funko figures, which obviously I collect. They have Funko figures of the various characters and the various clones in the show, and now that I'm really caught up and totally into the show, I really want to get one, or some, or all of them. Who knows? I don't have any self-control where it comes to this. The show's great. Like I said, the acting is phenomenal, especially by Tatiana Maslany, which it's really funny because they're clones and there's, characters who look exactly the same but aren't. Of course, there are situations where one clone has to act like another clone to get them out of this situation. And it's really interesting to see her do this because she's playing one character who is pretending to be another character, but who she plays, but she has to pretend to be that character badly. And it's really interesting. It's really funny, some of the things that happen with that. It's a great performance from Tatiana Maslany. It's great performances, plural, from Tatiana Maslany. I don't know why she's not a more popular actress, because she is phenomenal in this show, but they're constantly raising the stakes, they're constantly keeping the show fresh and interesting, and they invest in their characters. They don't just kill them off whenever they're done or for dramatic effect. They keep their characters, and they are constantly evolving them and adding to the cast and giving these characters new purposes and new roles in the show that are different from what they've done. Maybe when they finished one purpose or one motivation, they go on to their next story of these characters, and I think that's just a great quality, and I don't know why this show isn't more popular. I don't know why I'm not seeing more people talk about this show. I wish I was, because it's fantastic. Have you watched Orphan Black? If you have, let me know what you think of it in the comments. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and share the video so others can join in the conversation. If you would like to support more of my free content, check me out on my Patreon campaign. Also, subscribe to my channel so we can geek out some more. Thanks for watching and have fun. So Captain America, Thor, Hulk.